Ginni damn Thomas is still in a cult. That's according to experts. Let's do it this way. Let me remind you of the cult she used to be in. Here it is.
Hi, I was in LifeSpring, and I was what I considered to be deprogrammed. And I guess coming out of, when we talk about it, the focus of this discussion is on coming out of a cult. There were a number of things that went on for me. When you come away from a cult, you have to find a balance in your life as far as getting involved with fighting the cult or exposing it. And kind of the other angle is getting a sense of yourself and what was it that made you get into that group, and what open questions are there that still need to be answered. And I think I'm struggling with a balance between that. I want to expose LifeSpring. I want to keep other people from going through that experience. But I also don't want to go overboard in that regard. So all those things that got me to LifeSpring are still there. And I guess I struggle with not going overboard and fighting the cults, but I know that's important too.
All right, Ginni Thomas, the wife of United States Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, was in a cult. We know that. She admitted, hey, I was in a cult called LifeSpring. We did some things together. We believed some things that were kind of far out. We were a cult. All right, there's more to the story. According to NBC News, people who knew Ginni Thomas back then are appalled by seeing her go down the election fraud conspiracy rabbit hole. It's difficult to reconcile, they say. Thomas then and Thomas now. For people who worked with her at the height of her anti-cult activism through the late 1980s, said in interviews, after she spent years trying to expose cults because she was a part of one, she went to expose other cults. These people found Thomas's efforts to promote outlandish plans to overturn the 2020 results, particularly the text messages, and emails in which she referenced false election conspiracies that originated in QAnon circles on the internet, surprising. Democrats and Republicans alike have said QAnon supporters exhibit cult-like behavior. Now, remember, Ginni Thomas not only exhibits cult-like behavior, she applied pressure on the chief of staff of Donald Trump to do whatever he needed to do to keep him in office because he would be doing, according to her, the work of God. That's cult-like language. She put pressure on other members of Congress and even other state governments to try and keep Donald Trump actively president illegally in the United States of America. Now, this may not really be a story if she's not married to a United States Supreme Court justice. There's more. An example of this erratic behavior was her text exchange with Mark Meadows. Let's go to the video.
3 days after Election Day, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas texted Trump White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, urging him to keep fighting the results. Do not concede, Ginni Thomas wrote. It takes time for the army who is gathering for his back. That text is one of 29 between Mrs. Thomas and Mr. Meadows, which he provided to the January 6th committee last year, according to a person familiar with the material. Quote, help this great president stand firm, Mark, she texted on November 10th. The majority knows Biden and the left is attempting the greatest heist of our history. In other texts, Mrs. Thomas pushed debunked conspiracy theories and offers advice for the Trump team.
What army is she talking about? Has anybody questioned her about this army? She said that it takes time for this army to come. According to former deprogrammer, a guy named Rick Ross, not that Rick Ross, another one, who knew Thomas years ago, he said, and I quote, Ginni Thomas was out there active in the late 80s and early 90s. And then she really went a different path while admitting she should be given credit for the previous efforts against cults. Ross will go on to say, I think Ginni Thomas probably feels that LifeSpring is something that she understands and can break down, and that QAnon is something entirely different. Ross added, my impression is that she's just an extremely conservative political activist and that she's very anti anyone on the left. Speaking as someone who has done more than 500 cult interventions, you can't deprogram someone's sincerely held beliefs. Another associate who did not want to give her name over safety fears told NBC, here is Ginni Thomas sort of getting sucked into the basically equivalent of a cult again. Some of the team that did her intervention has stayed in touch with her over the years, recalled another associate from her anti-cult days. But she became progressively this level of right wing. This is off the scale for me. These are people that knew, worked with, and loved Ginni Thomas, saying she is back in a cult. A.B. thoughts here.
Ginni Thomas is an insurrection kingpin, period. This is concerning because her husband is a Supreme Court justice, right? And we know happy wife, happy life. So we don't know how that's gonna affect our country. That's very scary. On the other hand, I do wanna say that the greatest heist in the history of America was when Christopher Columbus got lost and he came over here and decided that he had discovered America and took over. That was a heist. What happened during the election was what was supposed to happen. Majority of the country decided that they didn't want to deal with Donald Trump as president anymore, and they voted as such. So we need to stop this narrative that he stole the election. No, y'all tried to steal it and it didn't work.